My son's coming at the weekend. His school's just had a warning about it, so I'm dreading.
Aye, it's literally it's a type of illness where like you don't know how you feel. You don't know whether you feel sick or you just feeling down. It's weird, just like not 100%. It's just like when you're self-employed, you can't afford to be off, but there's no what you can do. You got kids; they just keep bringing viruses in after viruses at school, from school and that. So,
No, you know.
oh,
So man's wrong.
right, here we go. Well, welcome to, say the MACKEM, CABBIE and Davey show. But we have Richie, or Richard, how would you like to be called? Richard, Rich, or...
How you like, mate? Dickie, Richie.
Dickie Richie. Because we'll have to get your name put on the title if you're wanting to be a regular and stuff.
Yeah, I need that.
I'll put your name down on the description anyway. So, don't know if you can see, but I've got like a fancy Sunderland clock on the top left-hand corner now on the stream. If you're wondering what that was. And if you see number 43 to the right of your head, I'm just testing a timer for the football when I do the live streams.
I like that, like.
That's canny, innit?
Aye, looks class.
You see
nice
the number 43, I'm just testing the upward timer because the last one I had, it cut off after 45 minutes and I'm wanting this to just go up to 90, so ignore that. I'm just wanting to make sure it tests because everybody keeps asking for a timer when the game's on.
Well, you're only 3 years out from the age I am, like, so there you go.
Okay, start, mate. There's loads of people coming in the chat already. Jerry says, evening, CABBIE and Davey. Well, it isn't Davey tonight. Davey is actually moving house. So we've got Richie here today, or Richard. Davey is moving house, so he's going to be away for a few weeks. So that's where, because I spoke to Davey and he told us, he says, that's what's going on. He says, I will be back, but good luck with your move, Davey. Hope it goes all well. Geordie says, hello, Geordie, how are you doing? Hope you're well, mate. John Nesbitt says, hello, gents. Jerry says, hi, and Richie. Geordie says, it was a bad result against Leeds. It was the manner of the defeat, wasn't Geordie? That's what hurt the most, I think. We can take... They were the better side the second half, but it was just the manner of the defeat which stings, still does sting now. And my God, did Leeds United know they got away with one the way they celebrated? They knew they got with jail card free there. I'm telling you now. But you've been there yourself, Geordie, plenty of times where you think you're home and dry just about, and then you get a last ditch sucker punch. It's soul destroying. Pastor Alex is in the house. He says, hello, gentlemen, he says.
Oh, Pastor.
Oh, Pastor. John Nesbitt says, where's the catalogue boy? Yeah, he's moving out, John. Peter Lisbriel says, evening, lads. Peter from Guernsey. I hope the boys win tomorrow. I'm going for a 3-1 win. Sunderland, keep up the good work, you two. Thanks a lot, mate. Dougie says, hi, guys. Hope you're all well. And Mac and Pastor Alex says, I've been told... he's coming to Uganda, Davey. Can't wait to see Mr. Davey. Oh, well. Just have to make sure you'll have to put him in a spare mud hut.
I get one of them mud pies made for him as well. He'll be hungry when he gets there.
So, Davey, Richard, what you been up to last week? Since we did the show on Tuesday.
Just same old, CABBIE. Just work, home, sleep. Had a couple of days off, catch up on a few things. I watched a bit of the Champions League as well. I watched the Champions League draw today. Some tasty ties coming up. To be honest, I've heard a few opinions about, the way the new format is, but personally myself, I love it because you've got big teams playing against each other. Even if they're from the same nation, I still think the Champions League's about the best v the best.
I do like the league table format, mind.
I see him.
What do you
But
do?
there's some
What do you do? What do you do work-wise again? You have told us, haven't you?
No, I work in security, mate. So I'm just doing retail at the moment.
Right. Okay.
Hey?
You just in security retail.
That's what I'm working in at the moment. But I've done a bit of door work in the past. You know, just security jobs. So it's just what I enjoy, really. I just find it dead easy. You know what I mean, day to day, and you know, just you get to chat to loads of different characters as well. So that's always entertaining, you know. So you never know what's going to happen.
It's a pity you couldn't have been on duty working down Ellen Road. You could have caught the blugger that stole them 3 points for us down there.
You know. It's still a bit of a kick in the teeth, like CABBIE, because you know. And I'm not moaning on and going on about it, but we really could have got a draw there if we just held on, you know.
Well, a lot of Sunderland fans have been like saying, you know, a draw was a fair result, and there's like other neutral fans saying, "Oh, Leeds were the better side, that they deserve to win." I wouldn't necessarily say they were the better side. You know, I hardly think they really troubled Patterson at all. That the second half, they had a hell of a lot of possession, but I still didn't really feel nervy. Even when they had the ball, I still thought Sunderland were pretty comfortable. I'd only started getting nervy when he made the subs. I don't know why. It just seemed to change. The last sort of 14 minutes was like, hey, wait a minute, this is a bit uncomfortable now, because we started giving more and more free kicks away. But I certainly think if it finished 1-1, then either set of supporters wouldn't have been able to complain with that.
No, definitely not. Not away. You know, if it was at home, maybe it would hurt like even more, but not away. But there was something I heard actually earlier. I'm not sure which other channel it was, but they said both the goals actually came from Samed. Leading up from Samed, I'm not sure if that is. I know the second one did.
Well, the second one he went to clear it, didn't he? He went to backhead it, and he just totally mishit it, and it just went straight to them.
No, it was Roberts that gave it away in the first place, wasn't it? The first one. I'm not sure. I'll have to try and find that out.
John Nesbitt still says coach to blame for the Leeds disaster. He says even if he didn't want changes, he should have used them to run the clock down. Naive, and like Gary Bennett is still saying, you know, what is going on with Meffin at the minute. Like if he doesn't get a start against Hull, I mean, there's something going on, isn't there? I mean, I don't know. Is he losing interest, Meffin? We didn't know what goes on behind the scenes, do we? Because I mean, he was immense when he first came for Sunderland.
Definitely, mate. And it is a surprise not to see him in. But again, do you not think maybe it's because we've actually got 3 decent centre halves, and maybe he's trying to get a partnership that works. You know, maybe he's just wanting that one solid defender in either Meffin and Ballard, and then it gives Luke O'Nien that sort of freedom to go forward a bit more, like he has been, passing the ball a lot more, and you know, direct passes as well to the front line. Maybe that's the type of partnership he wants, rather than 2 sort of solid centre halves there. It might just suit his style of play to have O'Nien in, but it's crazy how we've got Ballard and Meffin and they can't start together. Yeah,
I know. Dougie's just says CABBIE has the bouncer rain, behave lads.
Not anymore. That was a long time ago. Those days are well over
now. You know. So obviously, it's another 12:30 kick-off tomorrow. Thanks for Sky as well for doing so. And tonight we have games being played as well, haven't we? We've got in the Premier League, it's currently 0-0 between Leicester and Brentford. And in our own division, it's goalless between Bristol City, Middlesbrough and Burnley, Sheffield Wednesday. Do you know what? I think Burnley will have a tricky game against Sheffield Wednesday tonight. I think they're not playing. They're playing not bad at all.
Possibly, aye.
So will Sheffield Wednesday possibly do us a favour tonight?
If they can score.
If they
You
can
know
score.
what I mean? That's it with Burnley. They want to break the record, I think, for the championship. I'm sure that's what I said on Talksport Sport earlier. I can't see them beating them if they've got that record at the moment. But there was massive favours if they did. Hopefully, obviously, Borough to lose.
There's someone messaged us before on my page, and they were saying if it was 0-0 at the end of extra time. If it was 0-0 and there was like 30 seconds left at the end of a second period of extra time at Wembley, playoff final against Burnley, would you let Isidore take it? Against Burnley. I mean, that would be one way to sort of, get your own back a bit, wouldn't it?
Oh, definitely.
But what would you do?
We've got no one else really, have we? I mean, Patrick Roberts, but I wouldn't trust him with a penalty, like. Why not?
These things could happen. You didn't know, do you?
Hey, it might.
John Nesbitt says, can't understand Meffin on that onion now, keeping the other lot out. What the hell do they see in 09, for God's sake? I mean, are people being a bit harsh, you think, for 09? I mean...
Yeah. Like I said to you before, there he's very much, what you would call a ball playing sort of defender, where meaning, you can drive forward with the ball, sort of like a John Stones in a way, you can drive forward and find that pass. But I don't know off the top of my head how many chances he's actually set up for it, but it has been a fair few of those long balls from the back. That's why I'm saying, like, it's maybe a hard choice for him to drop one of them, because he needs somebody solid, and he knows that he's going to be in there for the cover and obviously for the set pieces, but he also maybe wants that defender who can stray pass from the back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's more of a modern game thing now, where we're playing out from the back. We're playing, a lot of teams do it, and it's evident that Luke O'Nien can do it because he has set up a fair few chances. The only thing I would say with O'Nien that makes me worried is he just dives in a bit too much. He loses his head sometimes, and yes, it might be a joke and a laugh, you know what I mean, but that could cost us, if he does it in the playoffs. He's going to be villain number one at Sunderland because of that, regardless of how he's played. That's the only side of Luke O'Nien that I'm worried about. But there's other things he brings to the pitch. He brings leadership, especially in situations. I've seen him, a few times before. Dan Neil's come over. Obviously, he's the team captain, but he's the club captain, Luke O'Nien. Players will still look up to him for that experience. He gives that positive outlook as well, I think, where, if things are going bad and the heads start to drop, he's one of them that says, all right, lads, let's keep going. So maybe it's a bit more to the game, but...
You can imagine Luke O'Nien in the dressing room, say, like, if it's 0-0 or the 1-0 down, he's the type of lad that's going to G everybody up, isn't he?
100%, yeah.
But, that's his personality. I know he likes to clown about this and that and the other, but I know every now and again he loses his head a little bit and his mind sometimes drifts away from football, but I don't know, I just guess everybody's got an opinion, haven't there? Some people say that it's time for O'Nien to go on, and a lot of people say, no, it'd be a big mistake if they got shot of him. Be careful what you wish for.
100%, mate.
I'm just glad Jacob isn't coming in the chat. He does me head in, that lad.
Harry, Jacob, lad.
Oh, for God's sake, did you see him?
Yeah.
Sorry, Jacob, I must apologise for that, mate. Sorry about that.
You dickhead.
Richard told us to say that, by the way.
Stop the new lad.
How are you doing?
You can't bullshit a bullshitter.
How are you doing?
I'm not bad, thanks. How about you both?
Yeah, canny. We are live now, so please don't say how's your father. Yeah, not too bad. You had a canny week then. Are you looking forward to Saturday, Jacob?
Yeah, just get back to winning ways, hopefully.
That's what we need to do, innit? Peter Harvey says, when is that lone Liverpool player we got coming back? Hoping for a win for tomorrow, says Peter. Yeah, there's still an awful lot of silence over that. I've not even seen any headlines about. Have you heard anything, Jacob, about that Liverpool lad?
Nope. Not at the minute, no.
Yeah, that is strange. Game's ticking away, like, but I think Richard's camera's froze. Can you hear us, Richard, there?
Yeah, I can still hear you, mate.
Your camera's froze there. I don't know whether you got Babe Station on another channel or something. I don't know. Dirty boy. There we look. That's what he's doing, isn't it? There we go. Yeah. You leave Clara's Clackers alone on channel 20.
I'll give her a call after this.
Oh, absolutely. Steve Taylor. Good evening, Steve Taylor. You all right? If you're wondering where Davey is, he's moving house at the moment, so he'll be away for a couple of weeks or so. But he says, evening, guys. He says, give the pen to Lafay if it ever happened at Wembley. He says 2-0 tomorrow. Listening to Total Sport today, and it's like, Hull City are not going to come to the stadium like tomorrow and just to roll over, are they?
No,
they'll want to win, won't they? Because they're not on great form.
No, they're in terrible form. But it's getting to that stage now where the season where teams are fighting for their lives, even mid-table. They're either fighting to maybe last gasp hope making from the playoffs or playing for safety case to get sucked in. But we've got to concentrate on our own game, do you know what I mean? We've got a job to do as well. I don't think
we can't just expect to roll them over either, because obviously that hasn't worked. Job was at Plymouth when Plymouth come up, we just expected to roll them over. There was just big expectation, and then obviously they give one of the best games that we've had against them. You know, we can't just because they're bottom down there, we can't expect them just to roll over. They're going to be fighting for every point.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, we looks like we can have Romain Mundle back tomorrow. I think he's going to get a start, you know.
That'll be class.
Because he's been a huge mislike, and if he's back to his fitness when he first started, I think you'll see a difference, you know. And then Tommy Watson, he's not going to be too far away.
No.
Sure, he's back in training, is he now?
I think he is, yeah.
Well, that'll be class. We'll be back to full strength. I don't think there's anybody else out injured now, is there? We've got Brown back. Obviously Mundle's back. Watson. Don't think there's anybody else, is there? Oh, at least Adji. He's out injured.
That's right. And it finished earlier as well, 3-3 between Sunderland under-21s and Southampton. I think we're at Southampton as well. And Ogunsui scores a hat-trick. He seems to be on fire at the minute, like, doesn't he? For the under-21s.
Well, that's 6 games in 2 now for him, because he got a hat-trick against Huddersfield as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure, Ross Stewart was playing for Southampton as well. I've seen something on Facebook.
Apparently so. Your camera's frozen again, Rich, and it's like you're giving me the evil stares. Strange. I think the internet's not too bad.
Any better?
Aye. I don't think Hull will come tomorrow parking the bus though. I don't think they'll have that sort of game set in mind. I don't know how would you like to see us approaching that game? Would you like us to sort of go out all attack guns blazing, Or do we do the usual and be cautious and sort of let them dictate the play for the first 20 minutes and see how they get on, and then Sunderland come into it slowly again?
No, we need to gun at them from minute
Yeah,
one, really. We need to put that.
Nice.
Yeah.
We need to be, you know. Let's just do what Leeds do, what they've been doing for the whole of the season. Actually, go for it and don't just sit back. Like, don't sit back. Go for a third, go for a fourth. You know, we need that. We've been like this too long as a team. Too nice. We've been like it for quite some time now. I think we need a new direction in the team. So,
who would you start tomorrow then? Who would you go for?
Well, I probably would put Mundell on. I probably would have Mundell on, and instead of Rigg, maybe Alan Brown. I think I'd have him. Maybe I think he should have probably come on against Leeds. Alan Brown could have been a different outcome, but maybe give Rigg a rest, because some fans have said he's a bit tired. He's like Bellingham from last season.
Rigg's looking knackered, isn't he?
Where would you play the three then? If you've got Brown on, I'm presuming you would go with Job and Neil. So would you not start the three?
I'd still probably start Enzo. I think defensively, I'd like to see Ballard and Meppen instead of like either Meppen and 09 or Ballard and 09. I'm not saying 09's bad. I love him to pieces, but I think maybe Ballard and Meppen for a change at the back, and maybe bring on 09 later on. So, but yeah, we need to be more ruthless, as we said earlier, like at Hull, because like keep going at them. Don't just sit back.
What about Roberts or Mayenda? Who would you go for on that right?
Mayenda. Start Mayenda.
Yeah.
I think he needs to start. Yeah.
Oh, has to be Mayenda.
Maybe he should have started against Leeds. It should have been maybe Mayenda should have started against Leeds, shouldn't he?
Yeah, he's got the. Say, I don't know, you know, because.
He's good though, he's Roberts. I'm not saying he's a bad player, Roberts. He is a good player, but I think a bit of a change. Go for Mayenda.
That'd be interesting. What would you do, Cabby?
Who would I start tomorrow?
Aye.
Well,
Bearing in mind though, like, because Job, I'm sure Job's 1 yellow card away from a suspension.
Well, it's only
it's
only a matter of time before Job does get a suspension. He's not going to avoid that until the end of the season, before he gets a two match suspension. But I don't think that carries on to the playoffs, does it? I don't think that carries on.
Don't know. I'm unsure about that.
If anybody knows in the chat.
Maybe if he starts and then gets his suspension over with, just in case it does roll onto the playoffs.
Your camera's froze again. I don't know what's going on, Rich. That's strange tonight. We've got bugs in the house. No bother. Anyway, we'll catch up on some chat where we're going. John Nesbitt says, I just think we have better players than 09. He's a nice lad, but I'm more bothered about our team than a sentiment. Peter Harvey says, where will Sunderland finish this season? Well, I know it's not mathematically impossible at all. Still for the top two. But as I keep on saying, we probably will see a Sheffield United or a Burnley slip up. But it's the fact, like, are Sunderland capable of, keep saying it every week, are Sunderland capable of putting 5 or 6 wins together on the bounce? And I don't think we are. But like I say, it could be different when we get the full strength squad, I don't know. But all we've got to keep doing is just keep playing our own game. And if we do keep winning, then that could be putting pressure on the teams above us. Do you think it also helps, and it could be a disadvantage and an advantage, Sky mucking about with all these fixtures and stuff? I mean, can you imagine if every game was like, say, a 3 o'clock kickoff and all that, but instead always keeping the top teams on to one will play a Friday, one will play a Sunday, one will play a Monday. Does that give any teams, do you think, an advantage because they know what the score is on one of the games? Do you think it adds more pressure on teams that they know what the other teams have done? What do you reckon?
Yeah, it'll have some effect. Surely it'll have some effect, especially what you said about the pressure. So if you see the teams below you winning, that you're gonna need to win. But that can give you that bit extra drive, can't it? It can give you that sort of second gear to go out there and actually have a reason for obviously winning the match. I certainly would prefer chasing rather than being chased, because I don't like that pressure at all. But there is some games coming up, and obviously, like you said, it's not mathematically impossible to finish in second position. But again, I totally agree with you, Cabby. We've got to start getting win. Maybe it's an odd draw in last games. We've got to. We can't just have this win, draw, because that's not going to get us there. We've got to really go for it. We've got to, give it a good go. And if we give it a good go and we've give everything to it and we're still finishing the playoffs, then fair enough. You know what I mean? That's acceptable personally as a Sunderland fan, that we have tried everything and we've give it a go. But I'm sure, last time Jacob was saying about not finishing these games off and losing the point. We've got to do that. We've got to finish games off. The amount of goals we've conceded after the 80th minute is ridiculous. We can't defend in the last 10-15 minutes of every game. So we might be having this cracking game. Say, for instance, we're winning 2-0. Comes the 80th minute, they score another, and then they get another goal. That's where we're making these errors. But personally, I just think it's down to his tactics. And I know people are saying we shouldn't be hard on him because of where he's got with it. Totally get that. I've got massive admiration for him because he has driven up that table and gotten to a position where we can go and challenge again. But he's got to do something about them tactics at the end of the games, because we can't just be a team like that. Other teams are going to start noticing, and they're just going to fire everything at us at the end of the game because they'll get them.
What do you reckon, Jacob? Do you think Sunderland are capable of putting 5 or 6 wins together?
I mean, yeah, we've had it. We've done it before. We've gone on good runs before, so why not do it now? Especially at this time when it's fairly crucial. When you think of it, we've not got long till the end of the season. So if we can start now, then I don't know. We couldn't. I think top 2 is. We could still do it, but it'd be difficult, won't it? But if we can at least comfortably segment for the playoffs, maybe, then start now, or it's too late.
Absolutely. Your camera's froze again, Rich. It hasn't done this the last few shows, has it? I don't know what's going on.
We've been hacked. Maybe hacked by Russia or something like that.
I don't know.
I've turned my Xbox off. I've turned my tablet off here because I had YouTube on it. So
I don't know.
I've 500 meg broadband as well, so I don't know if it could be that slow.
Oh, you can have 3 terabyte download broadband. You always get these glitches or something goes on interfere with it. It's thingy. Well, Jacob's right. Do you know what I mean? In a way, like what you've said as well. John Nesbitt says, Peter Harvey says, Rig to be put on the bench, give him a break. John says, Cabbie, it's us that's slipping up. Ollie Alexander, how are we doing? He says, my lineup goes like this. He says, Pato, Hume, Meffin, Ballard, O'Nien. Midfield will be Job, Neil, Enzo, and attack will be Mundell, Mayenda, and Isidore. Not a bad lineup. John says Leeds won't beat Sheffield. He says they will be beaten heavily on Monday. No mugs, Sheffield United, says John. So that's a big shout. Is that actually at Bramall Lane?
Yeah, it's at Bramall Lane.
I don't know. I still think Leeds will have too much for them. Like, they destroyed them at Ellen Road. They destroyed Sheffield United at Ellen Road, didn't they? Was it
Leeds, right?
Didn't Leeds beat them 3-0 at their ground or something early on this season?
Trying to find out.
Peter Harvey says Sunderland AFC must score more goals and not lead by 1 goal. Says need to win all our games and put the pressure on the top 2. Yeah, I know it's easier said than done, isn't it? Brentford are leading Leicester City by 2-0.
Yeah. Tell you what's funny though, it's going to be the same as last season, isn't it? With some, especially teams coming down. Don't you think Southampton, Leicester, and Ipswich? It's just going to be could be similar league to last season, couldn't it?
Leeds won 2-0.
Leeds won 2-0. I thought they won at home. I thought they won 2-0. You're right, Jacob. It's just going to be it's a fight really between the bottom. Well, we all know Southampton's gone, and I would say, I don't know. It's either Leicester, Ipswich, or Wolves that's going to fight for that 3rd place.
I think it'd be Wolves. I think it's Ipswich, to be honest.
Oh, Leicester's just let a 3rd in as I speak. I think Southampton and Leicester are gone. It's between Ipswich and Wolves. But once again, you just expect Leicester to do what Leeds have done this season when they come down again. You just expect them to take over, didn't you?
Yeah, they will.
Eat, slave, rave, repeat. That's all that's going to happen. And Bristol City 0, Middlesbrough 1 at half time, and it's 0-0 between Burnley and Sheffield Wednesday, which is no surprise at all. Which currently
Middlesbrough are actually winning a game.
They're winning, yeah, and that puts them just a point behind West Brom in the playoff position at the minute. If things like that current stand, they're on 47, and West Brom in 48 points in 6.
Is it at the Chernobyl Stadium? Is it or?
At the Chernobyl Stadium, have you heard that one? Have you?
Aye. Aye.
You know, I love doing the alternative commentary videos. It's just that the Luton Town one I didn't do one because it's like it's so difficult when it's your camera's froze again, Rich. Way up. I think Jacob's doing something like.
Aye, must be.
Aye.
Stage off, so can it be that?
I don't know what it is.
I think people who are watching need to take if whatever they're drinking should. Every time Cabbie says your camera's freezing, take a drink of what it is they're drinking. If it's Coke, alcohol, whatever. Every time screen freezes.
So, do you want a few stats about Hull City?
Fire away.
So, Hull City, top goal scorer, João Pedro. He's got 5 goals. Mason Burstow, obviously played with us. He's got 2 goals. Did he actually score a goal for us? I can't remember whether he scored for.
I can't remember if he did or not. That.
And then there's a player we need to look out for. This Mohamed Baloumi. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Attacking right midfielder, has got 2 goals, 2 assists, and he's the top-rated player this season as well. So maybe. You know, Sergen's going to have a little bit of a challenge with him tomorrow. They've also, the last few games, so the last 6 games, they beat Millwall 1-0 away from home, and at home they got beat off QPR 2-1. They beat Sheffield United 3-0 away. So this is what I'm saying. We can't just expect them to roll over when they've beaten Sheffield United away 3-0. They lost 2-1 at home to Stoke. They lost 2-0 away to Burnley, and they drew 1-1 with Norwich. So yes, they're at the bottom, but I think we've got to be careful with these tomorrow, because they can obviously give away a game, especially that 3-0 away victory against Sheffield United. You know, it's a massive result. That, even the 1-0 against Millwall away. So yeah, there's that Joe Pedro up front, and then you've got Bellumi. Maybe 2 players to watch out for tomorrow from them.
That was mad, that Sheffield United result. Like, I just don't know how on earth they managed to pull that off. Like, I really didn't. And of course, it's things like that we were expected to. In a way, it was just a shame we were playing Plymouth the next game. Do you know what I mean? It's just, that's the way it would have been. I'd rather have played a 7th off top team or something. The Stadium of Light, you know what I'm saying? It's just. But this is what I've come to before as well, innit? About that teams known what each team's are playing, because they're not playing they're playing in different days. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like when there's a big tournament like the World Cups and the Euros, the last game and the group games, they're all play at the same time, so nobody knows what the scores are.
Mm-hmm.
But and yet we constantly did it, and it's like, could it have been different if we hadn't have already known what that Sheffield United scoreline had been before we played Plymouth? You just don't know how it affects players' minds. You don't, do you?
No, definitely not. But, you know, if you've got a chance and you know you've got a chance, obviously the manager might not even mention anything before the game.
I know.
You know what I mean? He might not want that pressure on his players to find out what it is, but...
Get a drink again, everybody. Richard's camera's froze, so everybody just heads up. I'm having a drink now. There we go.
I don't know what's going on with this camera unless it's your broadband, Cabby.
No, it's... Because if it was me broadband, my picture would be frozen as well. So I'm moving and I'm going fine, and then it's just your camera. It's like just died.
I don't have any idea, mate. But Joe Gelhardt as well. I've just realised.
Joe Gelhardt, yeah.
A bit of a feisty player.
He is.
They've got Casey Palmer, who was at Coventry, wasn't he?
That's right.
He's playing for them as well now. So they've got some half decent players in there, you know.
Oh, of course they have. Let's catch up on some of the chats. John says Davies should have his sitting room painted by now, Cabby. I don't know if it's already refurbished or not. I'm not too sure. I believe he's staying in a tent for the first few days. Peter Harvey says, what are your predictions for Sunderland game tomorrow lunchtime? And John Murray says 39 points to play for, win and a couple of slip-ups, it's game on. John Nesbitt says worst teams to play this time of the year are the ones fighting for their lives. We'll have a very tough day tomorrow. Art also says have gone, so we'll have the spirit to fight on. We'll go through the predictions later, John, not be long. What does Sunderland need to do then tomorrow to stop Hull sort of from taking control early on? Because that'll be their game plan as well. They'll want to quiet the Stadium of Light. What do we need to do? We've got the talent, we've got the skill to dominate, but what do they need to do tomorrow to stop that sort of repetitiveness thing happening where we're frustrated and it's an awful game to watch, and you know, Hull gone one up front or something like that, and then it's a nervy atmosphere with the Stadium of Light again.
That's the thing though, we're 1-0s and 2-0s, don't we? So I'm hoping he puts out to attack and like Jacob said, kill the game off, you know, get 2-3 goals before half time. That's going to be the perfect sort of start of that match tomorrow if we can. but I just don't want them to play this negative football. I just want that ball up the pitch as much as possible in their half and just keep it there, keep the pressure on, and just go 2-3-0 up by half time, kill the game off, and then we're not going to have this pressure in the second half of, when we're sitting back, because he is going to do it again, of them coming onto it and thinking, well, they're going to nick one here, we're going to end up with a draw here when we should be smashing them. But I think we've just got to be cautious a little bit, because they're not a bad side, even though they are at the bottom of the league, you know what I mean? They might still cause an upset, obviously, because they're fighting for those points, but we've got to go out and attack them. It's as simple as that tomorrow, we'll have to.
Jacob, would you like to see Sunderland start with 2 up front?
Be a change. Yeah, I think might be better off with that. Wilson and maybe Mayenda up at top together.
I think you should start that for. I think you should go with 2 up front. Like, didn't play 1 up front against a team like bottom of the table.
If you're going with 2 up top, what would you play in midfield? Would you play like a diamond, or would you still play like a straight, 2 wingers, 2 centre mids? What would you?
I don't know. I mean, you see, I thought.
Because, yeah.
You want me to carry on?
No, sorry, Vin. Go for it.
It all depends, doesn't it? It's how your team's performing or how your players are performing. The fact, like, how quiet Joe was against Leeds. But once again, is it because of the fact you're playing a decent team that's closing you down? I would like to see Enzo Lafay brought into a number 10 position. I really would. We've got Mundle now coming in. That's where Lafay's been playing. Am I correct?
Yeah.
I would fetch him inside. Give Lafay the centre, the number 10 spot, say the legs, and put Rundle on the left. We've yet to see him, and I think he'll thrive in that position. To be honest with you, of course.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a mistake not to do that. Like, I mean, look, in the first half of the season when Mundle was destroying defences, every time we came down that left, Mundle was there just destroying the defences down the left. And can you imagine, like, with Isidore and Lafay up front? Aye.
That's what we need, though, Cabby. We need somebody feeding this Isidore, because, like I said in the last show, Cabby, all we're doing is launching balls up the top and hoping he's getting on the end of them,
Aye.
He is quality and he can do that, but we need somebody to feed him as well. Personally, like, I would prefer like a 4-2-3-1. So sit Daniel and Job a bit deeper from Enzo Lafay, so he's got that sort of like free roam behind Isidore to go and do what he needs to do. But
yep.
You'll be able to feed Mundle as well, because you'll pull in from that right. You can feed him. You can feed Roberts if he's coming from that left. I would see him, and I totally agree with you, in a number 10. And he, honest to God, if he is his quality, we haven't seen him in that position yet for it, but obviously with everybody saying how quality he is in that position, I'm excited to see him there.
I just think it'd be a recipe to destroy teams. Mundle on the left if he's fully fit. Isidore and Mayenda, and up top. I mean,
Right.
Do you know what I mean? That would be just absolutely, that'd be class. Or Burnley's just taken the lead against Wednesday.
Who scored for them?
Oh dear, they're just relentless, aren't they? They're just relentless, these teams above us at the minute. They've just scored. It's probably too early for them. Someone called Edwards.
Scott Park, although he's got the experience, hasn't he, to get them out the league.
Oh, they're just not backing down, are they? Week in, week out. So that means, I know we've played a game less, but now that puts Burnley on 68 points. 2 points behind Sheffield United, but Sheffield United have got to play, and of course we've got to play tomorrow, and if scores stay the same, and we didn't beat Hull and we lose tomorrow, we're on 62 points, Burnley's on 68, so there's even a gap beginning to merge from 3rd and 4th place, and you've got to say this, the top two's definitely gone 100% if that did stay the same and we lost tomorrow. So if that stays the same 1-0 and we win, then of course we're just 3 points behind them, but it just doesn't look like where their slip up's going to come from. Do you know what I mean? They're just absolutely non-stop.
No. Oh yeah.
Your camera's froze again, Richie lad, and Colin says, "Is Davey sabotaging Richard's camera because he's took his place?"
On Pastor Alex's broadband by the sound of it. You know?
I carry a pigeon. Davey, he's moving house, but is he actually standing outside of Richard's house with some secretaries or something snipping the internet cable or something?
Probably is.
It's some more chat stuff. John Nesbitt says we need to freshen the team up. Mundell, Meyenda, Lafay in the middle, and MACKEM back alongside Ballard, and change the keeper. He reckons we should change the keeper. What do you reckon at that? Change the keeper. What do you say? Patterson's still the best we've got. Better option than Moore, isn't it?
He is. He's still the number one. Like he's had a few. He has had a few bad performances. Let's be honest. Like, but he needs to stop hoofing that ball. He just pass that ball to the back line because we're losing too many balls straight out. Give them possession back. But nah, I think he's better than Moore.
I do agree. Do you think so, Jacob? Would you like to drop Pato tomorrow? Yeah. Or do you think we should? You know, he's better than Moore.
No, keep Pato. Actually, no, keep Pato at the minute. I know he does make his mistakes, but he's still a unit, isn't he? He's not. Yeah. He's a young lad, isn't he? He's gonna, like everyone else in football, they're gonna make mistakes, but I think he should. Excuse me, he needs to stay in goal. I think start in the starting lineup.
Yeah, I do agree on that one. David Graham says Brentford cruising at Leicester tonight and on course for their first win at Leicester since March 1953. David Graham says, to be fair, Cabbie, says Sheffield Wednesday should have been 2-0 up before Burnley struck, but that's football. It certainly is, and like, look at us, we should have beat them 2-0. It's just, you've got to put the ball in the net. It's as simple as that. John says we've dropped 18 points in the last 10 minutes of matches. Sounds like a stamina problem to me. Well, that's because we've got young lads in it, and I just literally do think they do run out of steam, and that's why it's so important to get as many goals as you can, because we're just not capable of hanging on to a 1-goal lead or even a 2-goal lead. When you look at the likes of Coventry, it's when you got kids. I know some people say, well, surely if you've got kids, then they should run and run and run and run, and the engine should be, going on forever like we did when we were little, coming in from school, running around, we didn't stop. So people say, how can you say like they've run out of steam when they're just kids? Surely if they were old, you could understand them saying running out of steam, but
still developing. They're only young lads.
They're only young lads, you see.
There's a bit of a difference between being like 17, 18, 19, but then actually developing into a 25, 26, 27-year-old man, where you're actually building your stamina up even more.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got more of that experience as well. But like, you kind of, because they're young, they will run out of energy. Look at Chris Rigg, 17-year-old lad, but he's knackered. It's the intensity of the league. It's the intensity of the games. It's the intensity on the way we want to play, because we want to play that fast passing sort of style. You know what I mean? It's going to have its effect, and we're a team that counter presses and close down the opponents as much as possible just to disrupt that play. Whether you're a young lad or you're older, it's going to tire you out, but you're still developing at that age. You know what I mean? And it takes its time before you become what you would say a man. They're still boys.
Well, it's not so much the lung power. They can probably go on and on, but it's the physicality of the body that's possibly the problem as well. It's like that's gonna get worn out and knackered. It's like the lungs are saying aye, the mind's probably saying aye, but the body's gone, well, how? Do you know what I mean? It's
It's happened to me on Saturday and Sunday football. Eventually I had to give one up and then give them both up, because you just can't take it anymore.
Gone are them days. Steve Taylor says, that's the Edwards we were after in the transfer window, guys.
Oh, is that the lad from Sporting, is it? Or was it from Sporting? Marcus Edwards?
I think it could be, yeah. I think it is,
Aye.
yeah. Jerry says, Danny Roll will be looking at his job tonight if Wednesday get beat. Haven't they gone on a good run of form, Sheffield Wednesday, recently? I'll have a look.
Have a look.
Are you going to have a look? Are you rich? Have a look.
So in the last 6 games, they've drew 1, lost 1, lost. So they've only won 2 games in the last 6.
But they're in no danger of going down, though, are they?
Nah.
No.
Just seeing what results I've had. There's not any big sort of results either.
We've got to play them away soon as well.
I mean, they've got Josh Windass. He's their top scorer with 10 this season.
Mm-hmm. Dangerous player.
Aye.
He scored that class goal from the halfway line, if you remember.
Was that against? Can't remember that one. When?
It was at Hillsborough, and it was like inside his own half, and he smacked it right into the goal.
Well, I'll have to look that one up. I can't remember.
I think it was if it wasn't, it was literally a yard past the centre line. It was a hell of a strike. Jim N says we need to keep possession better towards end of games. He says instead of regularly losing in it. He says even if we pass sideways, as long as we keep the ball, it reduces opposition attacking chances. Absolutely. Instead of just giving silly free kicks after free kicks away and set pieces. David Graham says after Hull tomorrow, we then play the Wednesday next Friday night at Hillsborough. So there's another one that we're not playing 3 o'clock kick-off Saturday. Next Friday night at Hillsborough on Sky. And then after that, it's Cardiff at home with a 3 p.m. kick-off finally. Well, would you believe it? Well, Sky still got time to change that, I'll tell you. John Nesbitt says Sky is running this league. He says they've destroyed the Premier. Now they're starting on the Championship. Top 3 all parachute boys. They need stopping and quick. So it's 5-2 by the CABBIE clock on the top left-hand corner. What predictions, Jacob? What you gonna go for tomorrow?
2-1 Sunderland.
And who do you fancy scoring?
Wilson and Meander.
Wilson and Meander. Richie, what do you reckon?
I'm going to go for 3-0. I'm going to get Wilson with 2, and I fancy the feet again on the score sheet again.
I'm going to go I'm going to go 4-0 tomorrow. I think I said that after the Leeds game we did on Tuesday. I just think they're going to be angry, and I think they want to prove a point, and I think they just want to get the feel-good factor back ASAP. And I think there's every chance that they could do that if Mundell starts tomorrow. I do think there's every chance that we could win 4 out. It's been long overdue, hasn't it?
Aye, it'll be nice. Who do you reckon will score then?
Ooh. I reckon Isidore will grab a couple. Lefay will get one. And I even think Bellingham will nick one.
Aye. It's been a while since Bellingham hit the net, isn't it?
Aye, I know.
Would you start tomorrow with the yellow cards? Would you start them tomorrow, or would you not? Like, would you rather get it out the way with?
Get it out the road. It's a tricky one, isn't it? Because I mean, it doesn't matter which games he misses. I'm trying to think what games would be best missing, but to be honest with you, I wouldn't want to miss any of the games. To be honest with you, because we struggle without Bellingham, even though he was quite against Leeds. I don't know. I just say get it over and done with. I would say I would play it tomorrow, and he'll have to miss out. Maybe he's against Sheffield Wednesday and Cardiff, and get him back.
We've got the squad back. We've got Brown back, and then if we really need it, we can use Samed.
Yeah, I know. Peter Lisbiel says, I like your clock. Where can I get one? I'll have to look it up and see. It's not actually a physical clock. It is like a piece of software I've been trying to find. John Nesbitt says 4-0 or 1-0 to them. That's extremes to Villa, but there we go. Colin Major says 3-0 Wilson to get a hat-trick. Do you know what would be class, wouldn't it, if he did get a hat-trick, rather than giving him the match ball, one should just give him a Wilson ball with a straw coming out the top, shouldn't they?
Someone might, well, they might make him one, mightn't they?
Could they, aye. Ollie says, my prediction is 3-1 to SAFC with Isidore, Mundle and Ballard. So, anyway, we've just about come to the end of the show. Jacob, cheers for popping in. Are you doing much tonight? What's your next plans?
Nah, just chilling, really.
Chilling? You got your carpet slippers and pipe in?
No. How about you?
Me, I might watch a couple of films next door, see what's what. I'm still not feeling 100%, but I'm getting I'm gonna see if I can find where Davey is and can have a word with him to stop mucking about with Richard's cameras, I think. You enjoyed it, Richard? Have you had a good night?
Oh yeah, I always do, mate. Always do.
So I will
just get beach station water.
I will end the stream, so I'll say good night from Richard and Jacob and myself.
See you later, guys.
And
goodbye, everyone.
Enjoy and have a cracking weekend, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.